Welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC. Give me a moment to invite our Spanish-speaking guests. Bienvenido y gracias por ver 3 o'clock con SOC. Si quieres acceso al programa en español, por favor, marque ese número que aparece en la pantalla. ¿Cuál es? 646-749-3122. Cuando le conteste su llamada, marque 779-328-221. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Friday episode of 3 o'clock with SOC. Today is Organizing Leadership and Community Development today. Just so you know, we do have simultaneous translation videos available for you in English and Spanish on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. Joining me today is also Maria Perea, our community organizer, who is a producer with us. Also, we have Marlene Zaran, who's doing guest support and is also in our comments today. In addition to that, we want you to know that while we're all home working safe right now because of COVID-19, we did want you to know that you can reach us anytime. We've always been here for you, and we will continue to do so at SOC. You can reach us at 414-672-8090 or email us at soc@socmilwaukee.org, and also reach us on our website, which you will see in the comments, and also Maria is showing it to us right now, so thank you so much. You can also reach us on our Instagram page and also on our Instagram and our Facebook. So thank you so much to everyone. Again, Organizing Leadership Community Development Day. Oh, before I forget, I do want to mention that we do have a disclaimer. The views and opinions shared on today's show do not necessarily reflect those of SOC. But yeah, we just want you to know we're so thankful for having all of you, and thank you for joining us for this day. Our featured guest today will be Pedro Perez, who's coming. He's a prevention case manager in the HIV department at 16th Street Community Health Care Center. Just a little shout out for next week. We have a lot of great guests coming through. Monday, we'll have voter experience survey results coming from Eileen Newcomer, who is the voter education manager at League of Women Voters. Tuesday will be our Youth Day, and I see a lot of you saying hi to us in the comments, our amazing youth organizers. The topic they have on Tuesday will be preparing for college, and we'll have Jeremy Triblett, who's a health and wellness coordinator, joining us also from Community Advocates. Wednesday, we'll also be receiving a DACA update from Voces de la Frontera. I believe Bernice Beltran will be joining us. She's a Racine organizer. Really great updates coming up that I know she'll be sharing. Thursday, Claire Evers, Deputy Commissioner from the Environmental Health from Milwaukee Public Health Department, will be coming back again and giving us some COVID-19 updates and discussing vaccines. And then on Friday, another great show, Pedro Hernandez, he's an attorney from Legal Action, will be coming to talk about evictions due to COVID-19 and what we can do with client representations. With that said, I'm going to check in with a couple of you, saying hello really quickly to Kimberly, to Jasmine, Isaiah. Also, Stacy is joining us today. Thank you so much for supporting. We appreciate all of you. And next, we'll have Pedro Perez, case manager with the HIV department at 16th Street Clinic. Join me. Hello, how are you today?
Hi, I'm well. How are you doing?
Excellent. I'm so thankful that you could join us today. I know right now, really giving this kind of education is so important, especially because people are more isolated and might not know our options. And also so thankful because I hear actually Maria is your cousin, our producer and community organizer. So we're so thankful you're part of the SOC family too.
She is. Thank you very much for having me.
Excellent, excellent. And I actually used to work in the 16th Street Healthcare before, so just very great, just in a wonderful organization. We're so thankful we can partner with them. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your role and responsibilities?
Sure. So I'm Pedro Perez. I'm the prevention case manager at 16th Street Community Health Centers. I'm actually in charge of kind of managing the cases of a couple of individuals who enrolled in our PrEP program. So PrEP stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is a prevention medication that helps prevent people from getting HIV, essentially.
Excellent, excellent. Let us know a little bit about some of the services you provide in addition to that program.
Sure. So we're part of the prevention program. So at 16th Street, we have the prevention and the essentially the medical end of HIV. So at a prevention site, we essentially provide a needle exchange program, which runs from Mondays and Fridays, in which we actually help individuals who are needle exchange users exchange their old needles for new ones. We provide free condoms. We provide free HIV testing, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and Hep C testing as well.
Excellent, excellent. And do people, do they need to have insurance? What can they do if they don't have insurance?
No, so fortunately, our program is completely free, at least the prevention aspect of it. And that is because we receive funding from the state of Wisconsin, essentially, the HIV program in the state of Wisconsin. So all of our services are completely free. So that's why we encourage people to come and get tested, as it is a free service. So why not use it?
Exactly. Do they have to show any proof of residency or any additional things to qualify for free services?
No, so fortunately, our services are completely confidential. All we do is that we ask that you sign a consent form. Essentially, you give us permission to test you for HIV, uh, or any other test that we conduct. And all we ask is for your name, your signature, and your address, and your birthday. So it's totally completely confidential. It's just information that we use to kind of document that people are getting tested.
Excellent, excellent. And can you speak to us about the relevance of HIV and AIDS, especially in the community for people of color? How has that changed? What's some new things that we might need to be aware of going forward?
Sure. So actually, it's HIV within the Latinx community in this case is unfortunately rising. So we are one of the communities that are being mostly affected. So we have seen either stable or decrease in the African American community, Native American community, and all the minorities except in the Latinx community. So that's why it is very important that we are using or that we are testing essentially as frequent as you can. Yeah, so that's why it's very important. As a lot of people also have misconception of HIV transmission, as well as we have taboo of not using condoms or any preventive measure at that. So it is very important that we educate ourselves in that aspect, and that is another reason as to why our services are very important for people of color.
Excellent. And because you mentioned the Latinx community specifically, have there been any projects or opportunities out there to really raise that community education, especially with our community, so we can make a difference going forward?
Yes, so we're here at Sixteenth Street. We're actually working to launch a campaign in which we do a lot of more advertising or marketing in Spanish, as there is a lack of information in Spanish about HIV or any STD. So that's something we're working towards and that we're advocating, and hopefully within the next 6 months. We're able to launch that.
Excellent. And give our viewers an idea why that might be happening to the Latinx community. I know we recently had a feedback session for COVID, another health concern, but another thing, there seems to be a difference with Latinx individuals and how they're taking in the information. Do you have any idea why that might be happening, just so our viewers are all aware?
Yes, I really think it is a language barrier, in which, like I said it before, there's not much information out there in Spanish, and it also has to do with poverty, with not being able to access any healthcare, not having insurance, being undocumented. So we have a lot of barriers that unfortunately lead us to not being informed.
And I'm also the leadership coordinator, so I help lead our grassroots organizing institute. We have fellows that we give monthly leadership development to that all live in our district. I would like to personally recommend when you do launch that program, we would love to help with any kind of feedback session or outreach. I think it's really important, especially because of COVID-19 limits us from getting together in person, whatever we can do to help. I know we always love partnering. So I know Marlene Zoran is definitely a person to contact. Our our public health coordinator. Any recommendations that you can give us for taking care of our own sexual health? What's some advice you can give all of us?
Sure. So, we are pro condom, so we like to encourage condom usage, but we we also realize that um, that's not real for many people or some people. So just making sure that you are asking the status of your partners, that you are testing every 3 to 6 months, depending on how sexually active you are, and also if you are able to get, if you're interested in PrEP, you could definitely hit me up, as it is a prevention medication.
Excellent. And I am hopeful because I know a lot of younger generations, especially ones younger than mine, seem to be a little bit more at ease with getting regular testing. But how often do you recommend individuals getting testing if they have multiple partners or, just for their own peace of mind?
Yeah, so I would recommend every 3 to 6 months, like I said before. It all depends on how active, but if you are really active, you should be getting HIV and your STD test done every 3 months, as or every time you change a partner, as it is important to know your status before you start a relationship.
Excellent, excellent. And I also, just thinking in the past, and I know there's some stigma and other things with HIV and AIDS, but there's also been some amazing treatments that have really advanced and has really changed lives. Let us know, what is it like to live with HIV or AIDS today? What are some of the positives that an individual can look forward to for support?
Yes, so we are very lucky, like you stated before, because before HIV was considered a life sentence, essentially. But with the new medication and the science behind it, we have medication that is able to decrease your viral load, essentially within a couple weeks. And when we talk about viral load, that means that the amount of HIV that you have in your system. And also, I do want to talk a little bit about being undetectable. There is a campaign out there that actually speaks to undetectable equals untransmittable, in which you get the HIV to a level in which you're not able to transmit the HIV to your partner. So it is very important to kind of destigmatize HIV in that sense, in general, but in that sense as well, as like just because you have HIV doesn't mean that you're able to transmit the HIV to your partner. As long as you are taking your medications, and you're consistent with it, you're able to get to a level which is considered undetectable.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. And also earlier you mentioned some of that state funding that was helping for the testing. Will that also cover the testing to allow a person to know whether they are undetectable, or for the prescriptions?
So that it we actually have a program that is specific for people that are living with HIV. It's called Ryan White, and that is actually a great program. It's a program we're lucky to have, in which that program helps essentially people living with HIV with all their medications, with all the lab work, with anything that they need essentially to be successful and live a healthier life.
Beautiful. That's so hopeful to know that that exists for individuals to have. I know we mentioned Spanish speaking and making that possible bilingual information accessible, but let us know about 16th Street Clinic. What other languages can they support for bilingualism? What can people expect for those types of support?
So we do have well, we mostly have Spanish speakers within our team. Actually, our whole team speaks English and Spanish. But if you're referred to like Hmong or any other language, we do have a language line that we actually use, so that we're able to assist patients that are not that are not Spanish speaking.
Excellent, wonderful. And we also mentioned too, COVID-19 is drastically changing so many lives. How has this changed your day-to-day life, your work life, and your outreach? What's going on to different to make sure you're still reaching individuals?
Sure. So it's actually led us to do more of what we call telehealth. So we're reaching people more through Zoom, through text, through phone calls. So we're screening people, on the phone or through a Zoom call. And actually, your doctor's visits are actually through a Zoom call at 16th Street. If you have a prep appointment, or you just want to get or if you're a consistent patient of 16th Street. So it has moved us to kind of think outside of the box and see how we can reach people through social media.
Excellent, excellent. And I know you mentioned that you had that action coming up later, but any other events or projects that we should be aware of to support?
So currently we do not have like any events planned, but we do have what's called our prep clinic. So that's launching in the month of January, in which people who are interested in the prevention medication that's called PrEP, we will be able to assist them with the enrollment, with medication assistance program, and any doctor visit that they would need, essentially. But that's what's coming up. But in the near future, we'll be obviously creating more preventive events.
Excellent, excellent. And just to our viewers right now, if you have any questions, anything that you want to ask right now, it's a great time to ask. I'm going to especially nudge our youth organizers. We want to make sure our young people are informed. So if you have any questions or anything, just if you don't mind letting us know some of your contact information or how we can get in touch with the department. And then maybe Marlene can get a link for us for the clinic as well in our comments.
Yes, so we're located, we actually moved to a new building. We're located on 1243 South Cesar Chavez Drive. And they can contact us through calling us at 414-897-5645. And that's our direct number for the prevention center. So if you do have any questions or need to get tested or have any yes, essentially any questions that you would have about HIV, STD, or if you would want to pick up free condoms, feel free to visit our site, as we also offer free condoms and free lubrication. So nobody should be complaining about the prices of condoms, as we do have a free service. So you could definitely pick up some for free.
Absolutely. That is so wonderful to know. And if you haven't been to the 16th Street Clinic on Chavez, it's a full service clinic, lots of wonderful specialists and individuals that work there. Before we get going, any last comments or anything that you want to share with us? We do have a quick question. Is there a fee to get tested for Lucas? I do want to say that.
It's completely free. Like I said it before, it is a program covered by the state. So every test that we do conduct is completely free.
Excellent. And I just want to share too, like Pedro mentioned earlier, it's free and it's confidential. So, feel free to go in and they will definitely support you as best as possible. Pedro, again, any last comments, anything you want to share with our guests?
I just want to encourage everybody to get tested and be able, that everybody should know their status. Like I said, it's better to know than to not know. And like I said, we offer free HIV testing, free chlamydia, gonorrhea, Hep C, and we also have our needle exchange program. So we do offer all those services for free. We are non-judgmental. We welcome everybody, so feel free to come visit us.
Beautiful. And before we have you go, Stacey Carlos, one of our Gold Fellows, has another great question. What ages can get condoms?
We give condoms to anybody that comes in, so it doesn't really matter. Usually teenagers go to pick up condoms. So yeah, if you're sexually active, feel free to pick up free condoms.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope we can get you back in the forum to get another update. And yeah, if you wind up doing any kind of action groups or need anything for the South Side, please contact. I know we have a lot of residents that are concerned that would love to do what they can to help.
Okay, thank you very much for having me again. Thank
All
you.
right, gracias.
Hasta luego.
All right. Thank you so much for those wonderful things, Marlene. Appreciate you so much for getting on the address and also the phone number. Thank you so much for those great questions. We love interacting with you. Like to give you all a challenge. We do have a link in here for our Survey Monkey. That information is so important. It really does help us decide what we're going to have on upcoming forums. If I can get 3 of you to agree to do this, Stacy, I know you've already done one. We'd love to see it again. Our youth organizers, we always love your opinion. Anyone else, what else are you going to do on a rainy Friday but today? So we would love to see that. After that, we're going to go ahead and have Marlene Zoran. She's going to come on and join me right now for an update on COVID-19 numbers for Milwaukee.
Hi, sorry, I was muted.
I was just going to.
Yeah.
No, you're good. I just want to make sure you're good. I'll check comments. You do this.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Marlene Zaran. I am the SOC Public Health Coordinator. So today I'm going to give you a coronavirus update on the current numbers within the 53215 and 53204 zip codes. Let me take a second here to share my screen. All right, so this is the dashboard that's provided to us by the City of Milwaukee Health Department. Their numbers are updated. Oh, it's loading. Give it a second. So their numbers are updated on weekdays by 3 p.m. every single day, as you can see here. And the current number of positive cases in Milwaukee is 49,423, and the number of deaths is 435 right now. If we zoom in here, we click here, this is the 53215 zip code. The total number of cases is 7,943. They are still in the red zone, which means they are still in the hot spot for having high cases, according to the number of cases per population of residents that live within that zip code. If you see here, this is the hospitalization count. So this is the number of people that were hospitalized per 100,000. So there has been 3,323 people hospitalized. Those that got positive for COVID, 23,743 were not hospitalized. And then 22,357, we don't know their status. So then the other zip code that I wanted to take a look at is the 53204. That one is actually getting lighter every week. So it's showing that the number of COVID cases is decreasing. And let me see here, if we select the last 7 days, right? So then the last 7 days, there has been a total of 136 cases. And then the 53215, there has been 233. So it's around a 100 cases per week difference between these two zip codes. The more, COVID-19 cases there are, the redder it's going to get. And then in this zip code, the white population, the white community is now the highest for the number of cases by race and ethnicity. The Black or African American community comes in second, and the Hispanic Latino OAX community comes in third. The highest rates by age range right now for that zip code is 25 to 34-year-olds. And then the second highest is 15 to 24, and 35 to 44 is the third highest. So if you are between the ages of 15 to 44, which is a large majority of the population, please socially distant and stay home. Don't gather during the next couple of weeks. During the holidays are coming up, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Try not to hang out with individuals. If you are going to hang out with individuals, I suggest you try to isolate yourself as much as you can from groups of people and friends. According to the CDC, it's recommended that you take 14 days before the actual holiday to socially distant. So that means, the only places you'll be going to is your work and the grocery store, and you're going straight home. You're not hanging out with other groups of people and possibly getting yourself contaminated with COVID-19. So that being said, it is recommended not to hang out, but if you are going to hang out, which we know individuals probably will, we suggest that you try to do something outdoors if possible. Try to only hang out with individuals from your own household, and try to maybe gather virtually with friends and family, doing like a virtual hangout versus doing that. I myself, I'm doing a Secret Santa with a couple of my friends, but we're doing it virtually. So we're going to have a couple of games set, and we're going to do it over Zoom. The Southside Organizing Center, we actually did our holiday celebration this past week, and it was great. We all sent our gifts not virtually. We all sent our gifts in little gift bags and dropped it off at individuals' doorsteps, and others just delivered it over through the mail. It was really fun just doing it virtual, even though we were not in person. So, just different ideas like that, it can really make a difference, and it'll decrease the number of cases that we have right now. Hanukkah did start yesterday, so happy Hanukkah to those that do celebrate. But again, that's the same rules apply to those celebrations as well. Try to socially distance as much as you can and not hang out with individuals. And if you are going to hang out, according to the CDC, it is recommended that you make sure you don't have any symptoms before you go. The individual that is hosting, make sure that you have specific regulations, such as, if you are going to be within the same vicinity, try to stay 6 feet apart. Make sure all of your guests are wearing a mask. Make sure everyone, has gotten tested within the past, couple of days before you meet up. It's recommended that individuals test about 4 days, before they're going to go to a gathering. That's my COVID-19 update for you guys for today. And I hope that it helped get an idea of where we are with the numbers right now.
Thank you so much for Marlene for that wonderful update. And yes, I need to reiterate, especially because I live in 53215, and every day it's obviously a challenge. We miss being with each other, but if you really love your people, you will love them from afar. That is just really what needs to happen right now if we're going to get through this together. I did want to add in that I did put in the link to where Marlene is getting that dashboard information, if you would like to keep up with it. Being in that orange color is very sad. It's glad to know 53204 is getting into the yellow and getting a little better. But yeah, it's really important that we stop and we understand, if we're going to get through this together, we need to really be distanced from each other right now. A little shout out to Angel Hope, great person. Hi. Him and Leroy, his brother, who's another youth organizer, is saying hi to us. We appreciate them so much. Up next, Gabe Charles, our Civic Engagement Manager, has given us a video on the U.S. Legislative Branch Explained.
There are 3 branches of government in the U.S.: legislative, executive, and judicial. The legislative branch is comprised of the United States Congress, the bicameral legislature responsible for writing and passing all federal laws, among various other functions. Back when the Founding Fathers drafted the Constitution, debate stirred over the type of legislature they'd have. One with equal representation, i.e. the same number of representatives for each state, or a proportional representation, in which the number of representatives reflected the size of each state's population. Unable to choose, they settled on both: a legislative branch with 2 houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate, which together form the Congress. This was all outlined in Article 1 of the Constitution, which also notes the functions, powers, and parameters of the Congress and its individual representatives. A congressman's primary responsibilities include representing the interests of their constituents, working together to write laws, overseeing other government agencies, and passing bills. But of course, that's all way easier said than done. To understand how it all works, we have to take a closer look at the makeup of the two distinct houses. The first and lower house is the House of Representatives, made up of 435 elected officials. Each state is allotted a number of congressmen, determined by their total population. To become a member of the House, one must be at least 25, have lived in the U.S. for 7 years, live in the state they will represent, and be elected by the people. Congressmen serve 2-year terms and are up for re-election every even year. The House is led by the Speaker of the House, who's elected by the House of Representatives. The House has a few exclusive powers not shared by the Senate. Only the House can initiate tax laws and spending bills. Only the House can initiate impeachment of the president or other government officials. And in the event that there's no majority in the Electoral College for one of the presidential candidates, it's the House who casts the deciding vote. The Senate, or the upper house, is made up of only 100 elected members, with 2 senators from each state. Here, a state like Wyoming has as strong a voice as California, even though California has a much larger population. To run for Senate, one must be at least 30 years old, have lived in the U.S. for 9 years, and live in the state that they will represent. Senators serve 6-year terms. Every even year, a third of the Senate is up for re-election. Before the 17th Amendment was ratified in 1912, senators were elected by the state legislatures, but now they're elected by us, the people. The Vice President of the United States serves as the head of the Senate, but he or she may only cast a vote in the event of a tie. The Senate exclusively has the power to approve presidential appointments and treaties. And when the House moves to impeach a government official, it's the Senate that tries them. Together, both houses have the power to tax, coin money, declare war, and regulate foreign and interstate commerce. But Congress's bread and butter is writing and passing bills. Getting a bill passed is no easy task. A bill can originate in either the House or the Senate, but before it gets voted upon, it goes through a series of committees and amendments and floor debates. After a vote, it moves to the other chamber and the process continues. If the one chamber makes any edits to a bill passed by the other, it has to go back for another vote. The House and Senate must vote to approve the exact same bill before it can move on. If it fails to get a majority vote, it has to be reintroduced. If it passes, it goes to the president's desk for approval. If the president chooses to veto a bill, which essentially voids it, Congress can push back with a veto override. But to do this, they need a 2/3 majority vote in both houses. Failing to pass legislation is an inevitable part of congressional routine. Congress is the only branch of government whose members are elected directly by the people, and the only part of government that tries to balance the relationship between the power of the nation and the individual states. To see how the Supreme Court checks the president, check out our video on the judicial branch.
Thank you to Gabe Charles, our Civic Engagement Manager, for preparing that video for us. I'm just going to mention again the program that I help coordinate for SOC, our Grassroots Organizing Leadership Development. It is started right now. We have our next session on December 19th, and they go once a month. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me, Andrea at socmilwaukee.org, if you want info. One of the great areas that we do cover is civic education, to make sure all leaders are informed and they know how to access power through their elected officials, which I think this last election really taught a lot of us. It's important that we understand the entire process, so then we can therefore make sure that we bring power to our communities and our neighborhoods. So please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll add that in the comments in a little bit. Up next, we have one of my dearest friends, also the president of my own resident association, South of the Tracks Polonia, but Jeanette Torres, president of South of the Tracks, will be joining us with an interview with Maria Perea.
Hi, everyone. So today we want to welcome a special guest, Jeanette from South of the Tracks. Hi, Jeanette. Welcome.
Hi. Hi,
Thank you
everyone.
for
Hope
being
you're
here.
okay. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So if you can just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your role with South of the Tracks.
Well, I am the leader of our group. I try to hold our meetings once a month, except in the winter time, being that we do have older residents in our neighborhood that come, and I don't want it to be, too cold or dangerous for them to be out. We started about 5 years ago when I moved here. I started helping my mom work on the South of the Tracks Polonia neighbors. We do have a Facebook page that we use, and we put different alerts about things in our neighborhood that are going on, stories just out of Milwaukee, out of the South Side. We do try to put any type of help we can give to people, like the pay it forward meals. And also we work with the Lighthouse Ministry Youth Center in the neighborhood, and we've served dinner to the youth there. We do have a close relationship with the CLOs in our neighborhood from District 6. They're amazing. They're amazing partners for our South of the Tracks neighborhoods group.
You did mention you went right into my second question, which is great. But can you tell us like kind of what it looked like before COVID then? Like what did your meetings look like, or how often did you guys meet, etc.?
We would meet the first Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock, and we would hold it in the basement of the Lighthouse Youth Center. It wasn't the Lighthouse Youth Center when we first started. It was actually a church. But we would just do it in the basement. They would let us use it. And we built a connection with Murray, who was the groundskeeper for the church. He still comes to our meetings as well. And now we've built a relationship with Michaela from the Lighthouse Youth Ministry. So.
Okay. So then what does it look like now with COVID? Did you guys move to like virtual, or are you guys back in person?
We did do in person, but we were outside because it was nicer out. So we just sat all the seats 6 feet apart. Everybody had masks, and we did put it on live. The one time we did it outside. Then when it got a little colder, we did do it inside, but it wasn't as many people, and we were all 6 feet apart, masks on as well. It was more like we met with community leaders at that time just to talk about some things, because we wanted to partner with our neighborhood school, Zablocki, as well. So we invited the principal to come, and at that time we just met the principal and the CLOs.
Oh, okay.
So smaller groups. And we do send out emails to our residents who aren't online, who aren't on our Facebook page. We do send emails to remind them about our meetings, or to just give them any information they may need.
What do you have to do to get those emails? Do you have to be a part of that, like live in that neighborhood area, or can anyone sign up?
Anybody can sign up. We're always willing to help anybody that needs any assistance. That's just the way I am. It doesn't matter if you live on the east side, north side, south side, I'm willing to help anybody. We do ask, people to come that aren't residents in our area as well, just to check it out. So, we're willing to help anybody. You don't technically have to live in the Polonia area. We're willing to work with anybody.
And then do you guys have any events coming up?
We are actually going to help support the CLOs on Friday. They're going to be on 2nd and Holt doing the Santa and Salvation Army Red Kettle Challenge. So we're going to be out there. We have our little elf helper that is going to be helping them as well from our group. So we're pretty excited about that. I do know that once winter is over in the springtime, we'll have our yearly cleanup that we do during like Earth Day.
Okay.
And we did just do a cleanup, I think like last month. It was raining, and we had people out there keeping Greater Milwaukee beautiful. came and brought us some supplies, and we had the police, we had the Zablocki school involved. So that was a pretty nice event, even though it was raining.
Mm-hmm.
People showed up, and it was amazing.
Perfect. So you said you have the event coming up on Saturday?
It's on Friday, tomorrow, or
okay.
Friday.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
So it's tomorrow, but isn't this going to be on tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah.
So Friday, the 11th, December 11th.
Yes. So please go and support the Salvation Army. All the donations are going into the Red Kettle. Children can come in and leave Santa a letter, and there's a mailbox. Santa's special helpers dropped it off at D6, so that will be there too. And that was part of our resident group. We created that for them. Perfect.
And then lastly, any contact info? How can people get in contact with you guys?
We do have our Facebook page, which is South of the Tracks Polonia Neighbors. We also have SOT Polonia Neighbors MKE at gmail.com.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook. My mom is Gladys. She's on Facebook as well. A lot of people know her. So if you ever need any resources or any help, feel free to reach out to us. We're always willing to help.
Perfect. And then anything else that you want to say before we conclude the interview?
I just hope everybody has a great holiday during these hard times. We're all going to get through this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us and for the interview.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Excellent. Gracias to Maria Perea for that wonderful interview with Jeanette Torres, from President of South of the Tracks Polonia. I just want to reiterate the amazing work that South of the Tracks does. I've lived here a little bit over a year now, and one of the most welcoming neighborhoods, very vibrant. Always have a great walk and meeting our neighbors around here. Also want to mention, we love the partnership that South of the Tracks has with the CLOs, or the Community Liaison Officers. So they're helping with community resources and any needs for residents. So please feel free to connect with them. Also want to shout out one of the great projects that I love. If you've noticed, on 6th and Oklahoma, there's a beautiful mural that was put up over the summer. Absolutely gorgeous, and they really did a lot of great feedback session to get the community voice on what that mural should look like. So if you get a chance to go by 6th in Oklahoma, we've had so many incredible public art things happening, even though COVID is impacting us. It's nice to see Milwaukee get some color in it and stay alive through our community messages that way. Up next, we're going to go ahead and have a little promo for our SOC survey.
Hello, SOC viewers. I'm Marisol Diaz, Communications and Digital Manager here at SOC. We would like to thank everyone for supporting our 3 o'clock with SOC Live forum and for completing our SOC survey. In addition to thanking our residents for tuning in and sharing our forum, we would also like to thank the following sponsors: Wisconsin Voices, Community Development Block Grants, Neo Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Movement Voter Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Zilber Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Tides Foundation, State Infrastructure Fund, Wisconsin Partnership Program, and all of the faithful individuals who support SOC through their personal donations. Thank you.
Another forum done. Again, happy Friday to you all, and so thankful for our SOC team for helping us come today. Another quick reminder for some amazing episodes we're going to have for you next week. Monday, again, we'll have a voter experience survey results with Eileen Newcomer, who is the voter education manager at League of Women Voters. Tuesday, our youth will be here leading as they should be. It'll be a topic about preparing for college, and that'll be with community advocates and Jeremy Triblett from the Health and Wellness Coordinator for that. Wednesday, we will be having a DACA update. Bernice Betran from Voces de la Pandrera will be joining us on that. On Thursday, a COVID-19 update and also information about vaccines with Claire Evers, who's the Deputy Commissioner of Environmental Health from the Milwaukee Public Health Department. And then next Friday, we'll have evictions due to COVID with Pedro Hernandez. He's an attorney from Legal Action. As always, solidarity with protesters and those impacted by COVID-19. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to SOC's Live Forum today. My name is Jeanette, and I am the resident lead for South of the Tracks Polonia Resident Group. Today, we'd like to thank some sponsors: Wisconsin Voices, Community Development Block Grant, Neo Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Movement Voter Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Zilber Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Tides Foundation, City of Milwaukee Promise Zones, and all the faithful individuals who support SOC through their personal donations. We thank you. We hope you all are staying safe. Talk to you soon.